Digital impact optimization is all about getting people to act. And the best way to explain it is to give a few examples. So here's the website of one of our clients. You can see that this is a heat map of where users are clicking the most. And also there's kind of a scroll map here that shows how far users are scrolling down the page. And you can see here by this key that there's a 75% drop off right around here, which tells us that users are not scrolling on the homepage for some reason. Most folks aren't even seeing this content that they have here. And so what we do is we form hypotheses about how we can get people to act, to engage, which affects things like conversions and profit, sales, leads, enrollments in higher education, donations in nonprofit. And so we test all of these hypotheses with real live user data like this. So our hypotheses are formed from studying the mind and how it works in the context of design and digital marketing. You may have heard of the term neuromarketing, which is a big part of this. So, for example, you can see that a lot of users are not scrolling, but they are clicking on products and solutions. So this stuff right here is basically the content of products and solutions. It's what we do content, what we offer content. It's salesy in a way, and so is this services we provide. But what our customers say, that's what we call social proof, testimonials, logos, FedEx, highly recognizable. Some of this stuff is part of the persuasion equation. So what if we moved the logos up to the top? Would that get users to scroll if they saw FedEx and some of the Mattel, some of these big names they recognized? And then what if they saw what people were saying rather than, hey, we offer this stuff, which I can just find by clicking on products and solutions. So we test those with A/B tests. We send, for example, 50% of the traffic to a version of the page that has the logos right at the top, like this. And then another 50%, we send it to the original version. And we use data to determine which is best, which gives the most engagement, most conversions, or valuable activities like contact us, sign up for a free trial. What representation of this page gives the most business value? And so another example is this get started call to action. It's a great idea to have a main call to action on the home page to orient users and have them be able to take action on your value proposition here. So get started. Maybe users aren't clicking on that. Only about 0.4% of users of total clicks are on that call to action. So maybe instead of get started, what can I do at get started? I can get a free security scan, take an assessment, or start a free trial. Okay, but that's not conveyed to me by this get started call to action. So what if we spell it out? Get started with a free scan, assessment, or trial. This unclear, a bit salesy call to action now has real value to the user and orients them to what they might actually be getting by clicking on this button. But again, it's just a hypothesis, and we test. We test this version and this version and see which one gets more engagement. Okay, so that's an example of an incremental kind of optimization approach. Here's an example of a bit more, kind of reimagining. Everything involves reimagining as we go along, but with this particular website, there, it's got fantastic traffic. They dropped paid advertising back in March. Organic has been growing. They've got an SEO click value of $7,000 per month. So they would have to pay $7,000 approximately in paid advertising to get them this same amount of traffic. So they've got great content, great SEO. The problem is, well, our hypothesis is that the homepage isn't directing visitors to where they want them to go, nor are a lot of the landing pages. So users aren't converting into get in touch, contact us, sign up for a demo, all these valuable activities that a user can do. They're not doing that because this isn't visually clear. Sliders tend to be subject to what's called banner blindness. Users just ignore them just because of how we visually process them based on our experience. They look like ads to us. So we're missing the main value proposition here, and there's no clear call to action. And we did tracking and heat maps on the homepage to see that most users don't even scroll down to this main call to action here. So there's a lot we can do to kind of reimagine the website. Here is just a quick mock-up of the concept of what we could do. It's not meant to be a real design formalized mock-up. It's more like a wireframe with some visual information, just kind of a concept of what we can do, calling out the value proposition clearly. And this is just a demo value prop, getting some, generally one main call to action, and making it visually apparent and front and center, and then maybe using some buttons and different colors to call out these main call to actions here. Or maybe we reimagine a bit more and think, are those important paths for a user to take right at the outset? Reorganizing information with visual hierarchy so that the user can process it better, adding in some social proof here. So just as an example of how we can reimagine, both visually and persuasively, and in a brand sense too, kind of doing a bit of a rebrand, how the organization talks about itself, portrays itself, thinking about kind of a messaging strategy. These are all things that we can do, but the point is that we have an existing website with real live users that can tell us information about what content is important, where are people getting lost in this hierarchy of solutions and their technologies, or maybe they're not. Maybe this is perfectly good information hierarchy. What are sources of friction? Some of these things that just scrapping the site entirely and doing a redesign would not preserve. And this is just an existing theme on a WordPress site that we can overlay on this existing site. We've amped up the foundation and made it very sound so that the platform is future-proof and doing well to rethink without totally scrapping. And so another example of data that we look at, we can see these user journeys and find points of friction on specific parts of the site with specific users from specific countries, and follow their mouse and see what they're actually doing. So this is also part of the optimization picture, as are Google Analytics and the like. One last thing that we can do is we can build or optimize your site to target the exact specific companies who visit your website. We have technology, we partner with a company that allows us to see that the University of Minnesota visited your website. And these are the pages that they looked at. This is the duration of the pages, and this is kind of a tool for your sales team, but it's also good data for us to see, kind of what your valued customers, what pages they value, and maybe, where their user journey is ending. We can get a little bit more specific than we can with Google Analytics. So that's an overview. If you would like a free website analysis, you can go to originate.net/DIO and sign up for a website analysis that will give you kind of some insight. Without full access to your data, we can't give you the full picture, but we can give you a really good idea using a lot of tools and our insights and best practices and research methodologies about how you can uplift your growth and how you can kind of optimize and often reimagine your website for greater business impact. Also, contact us, set up a demo. We're happy to go through this with you more in depth.